Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Gloucester County Board of Supervisors meeting of Thursday, April the 30th. Mr. Baines, would you call the roll?
Yes, sir. Dr. Orth. Dr. Leming. Yes. Mr. Hutson.
Here.
Mr. Chriscoe.
Here.
Mr. Nicosia.
Here.
Ms. Hanson.
Here.
Mr. Bonniville.
Here.
No, you've got a quorum.
Oh, well, look at that.
Dr. Orth.
Here.
Well, now that Dr. Orth is here, we can go ahead and continue with the meeting since he has the invocation. So, all that are able, will you please rise for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance by the Honorable Dr. Robert Orth.
Let's bow our heads for a moment, please. Dear Lord, first, thank you for everything that you've given us in this world. Good clothing, good house, good food. Tonight we are going to continue the budget deliberations. We have some very difficult decisions to make that will have an effect on many different people in this community. Help each of us and guide each of us in making the right decision for the people of Gloucester County. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Very good. Okay. So next we will move on to the adoption of the agenda. We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Next up, we will have the public comment period. As you come forward, please state your name, your magisterial district, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. And please make sure that it's pertaining to the subject matter tonight of the budget.
Good evening. My name is Matthew Nash, and I live in the Ware district. And I just want to say that you guys do have some difficult decisions to make, and I don't envy you. I just want to ask that you guys take your time, right? So I heard a little bit earlier, right before the meeting, that the budget for the schools are supposed to be adopted by April 30th, or May 30th, 31st. And I just looked up on AI, and it says that May 15th, or within 30 days of getting the estimates from the state. So we have not received any estimates from the state. I just asked the school board, they haven't received anything. So I ask that you guys take your time, vote no tonight, take the time and try to figure out something different without having to raise all the taxes, because there's only two ways to balance a budget, and that's cuts or taxes, right? So somebody's losing, and hopefully it's not the whole county tonight. So please take your time. You have till June 30th or the 30 days from the estimate from the state. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Rick Monday, you guys were kind enough to hear us speak. I'm here about the boat taxes. I appreciate everyone's consideration. I wanted to make myself available for any questions if they were possible.
He's works for Suntex. So I don't think he actually lives in Gloucester. I think he...
York County?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Owner, operator of York County Yacht Haven. One, want to make myself available for any questions, and otherwise I just had a couple of items which might be of interest. Number one, this is from the National Marine Manufacturers Association. 95% of boats sold in the U.S. are made in the U.S. 61% of boat owners in America have an annual household income of $75,000 or less. 95% of boats are smaller than 26 feet. Most of those boats are trailered. 93% of U.S. boat manufacturers are small businesses. So I appreciate everyone's consideration. I know there's been a lot of dialogue. I concur what he said. I realize it's a tough decision, but we're here for any questions, and we maintain that we're a driving force in economic development for the county. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff Brandfleck. You may remember me from a previous meeting. My wife and I are owners of Severn Yachting Center. We're in the York District down on Stonewall Road. I think we made a pretty good conversation in the original meeting about the economic impact of boating in this county and what we've been able to do. I've seen some statistics since around the number of boats in the county. I think the number of boats is probably not the right metric. It's the value of the boats, and we've been able to attract some much more valuable boats than what we've had in the past. And I think particularly wanted to reiterate that any percentage-based boat tax would drive away those customers who have a choice of where they come. They come to us temporarily each year, and then they go south in the winter. We get the chance to work on their boats to bring revenue into the county and to support a nice little employment base and business that we have. That's allowed us to reinvest in our business, all with local contractors, and to really help build our little economy down there in Glass, Virginia. So I just hope that everyone is united and that there's consensus that the boat tax is not something that's going to help the economy of this county. So I ask you for your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm also happy to host any of you all down if you want to come see what we're doing at the boatyard. So
Thank you.
please feel free to reach out. Any questions tonight?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Anyone else wishing to come forward?
Diane Jones from the Ware District. Anyone getting a budget for anything has to weigh what their income is and what their necessities are. The necessity in this county is to, and your purpose for being here is to serve the county, and that would include the police, the fire, the schools, the water supply, clean water, and if those things are not met, then fluff-de-duff should not even be considered. Fluff-de-duff would be like sidewalks, Parks and Rec, other things that are not necessities. Now, if you take care of the important things, then people will actually want to live here. If you buy a house at the Point right now, you're not sure if you can flush your toilet. It's kind of sad. But those should be your priorities, not anything that is superfluous. The school, listen to Dr. Vladu. He's a lot smarter than anyone else on the board, although they're very smart. He knows what's necessary and what isn't. And enthusiasm is very important. When the county believes that you're actually doing your main jobs, as I just reiterated or outlined, then they're much more interested in staying here, supporting you, and paying the taxes. And one thing that's extremely important is to remember it's not your money. Thank you.
Good evening. William Kilgore from Yorktown, formerly of Gloucester for over 20 years. I operate my owner's boat out of the Yacht Haven. And actually, I was reminded by Mr. Lee from Oyster Cove that we also have another boat that's, well, it's actually in the creek right now. It's another $250,000. So we've got $1.5 million in assets sitting here in the county. And last time I was in speaking before you guys, I talked about the amount of people that I spend money with and all of the people that are involved. So since then, let you guys know that I've found a new contractor today and signed a $5,000 deal to put flooring in the yacht. $5,000 to local, business owned by Mr. Lee Haywood. So among spending money with everybody in this room over the course of the boating history, the reason that I have Mr. Casey's boats here is simple. It's a boat tax. The reason that I know everybody that's in this industry in the county is because of the boat tax situation. There are a lot of marinas between here and Williamsburg, Virginia, where he resides, that I can keep the boat. I've enjoyed watching this community grow because of the boats and all of the businesses that have thrived and all of the people that have jobs and that I've been fortunate to have relationships with. But as I said the last time, when the boat tax is enacted here, we'll pull out. We'll be done. So just keep those things in mind. I know a lot of the boaters aren't here this evening, but we had our own little discussion after that, and we're pretty much all feel the same. A lot of them are from York County. Preston's Marina is full of boats that hail from other places, and we're here because of the boat tax. So good luck.
Chris Lee, 5195 George Washington Highway, Gloucester, Virginia. I'm here tonight. I'm not here to start talking about boat tax. I'm here to talk about how one industry has came in and how can we help the county make money. And the only way that we can do that is by bringing in taxable income. And the only way to be doing that is to be attracting people to come in to give us business. The thing that I'm having a hard time is, it's called analysis to paralysis. And we come in and have a conversation 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we get positive feedback via social media, and life is great. And then all of a sudden, I'm back here where I should be in my prime season trying to help bring money back into this county. I've been working till 7, 8 o'clock every night. And all that is benefiting this county in taxes. My pocketbook is the last person that I'm worried about. I have deadlines and I have stuff to get done. And every one of these guys here are here to help Gloucester County bring money in. No, nothing more, nothing less. Oh, I'm sorry. So I just really hope that y'all, I know that, and I'm learning a lot, that a lot is coming, speaking of trickle-down economics, is coming from the top. And it's not coming from Gloucester, it's coming from Richmond. Well, I can't help that. But what I can help is help Gloucester make money. And that's called hard work and efficiency. And if you can be efficient in your business, we could have moved on by now, and I could have been doing something, and everybody else here could be doing something. We don't need to be here beating a dead horse. We're proving y'all statistics. And if we need to go back and pay money to get another study done, we'll be more than happy to do it. But I pray that y'all don't cut your hands off to spite your face because of, yes, I know there's a need for money, but the only way to make money is to bring in more business, not go for the easy route. So that's all I got to say. I really appreciate y'all's time, and I really would like to help y'all any way I can. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Steve White, this is my first time here. I'm not sure what district I'm in. I live down off of Body Tot. I will have to disagree with you, ma'am. The smartest doctor on this board is sitting right there. Question, how can you justify from 23 to 26 that my house has gone up 43% in value? It's 14-something% a year. You can't. I don't care what the market statistic says. The only way you all can get money is from the property owners. I agree with the other gentleman. You need to bring good, sound businesses to Gloucester. I'm sure you can come to a tax agreement with them. You want somebody that's reputable, that's honest, a good business person. I found out that you can't raise the sales tax even a penny without going through the General Assembly. Is that correct? That's a shame, because if AI is correct, in 22 total retail sales, which the office said they couldn't tell me what total retail sales are in Gloucester. I'm finding that strange that as a public, I can't, know what that is. Total retail sales. AI said it was almost 900 million. So, if you could raise it 1 penny, and let's say it's $1 billion, you got your $10 million shortage that you need in the budget. But obviously you can't do that. So, I think you should all think hard about what you're going to do and make it fair for everyone. Thank you.
Anyone else wanting to come forward?
Good evening. My name is Christina Oshidara. I live over in Ware. I'm a single mom, and tonight's my first night coming to the meeting. I really came here not really wanting to talk about boat tax, except I have I think it's a 16 or 17-foot Sea-Doo that I bought in 2012 because I have 5 kids, and my youngest daughter has severe spinal cord injuries, and she can never enjoy the water. So the other night I heard someone say that having a boat is a luxury. In my case, it was giving my kids something after a horrible divorce and having them have something to enjoy. I don't drive the boat because I'm directionally impaired. If I get out on the water, I don't know how to find my way back. So the boat is in the water for about 12 days a summer, and it's my daughter's best 12 days of the year. It is not a luxury for me, so tax that and taxing everything else, I would get rid of the boat, and that would be sad for my family. That's that story. As far as property tax, or the value of my home, again, I don't think you could say how much a home is worth until you sell that home. Because I might think my home is worth $1 million because I love my home, but I might not be able to sell it because I have a 44-year-old septic system that I pray every week lasts another year. So I don't think the statistics, or because the house next door to me sold for $700,000, that it increases the value of mine. I don't think houses, again, are increased by what somebody deems them worth until the house sells and you see how much a profit or loss that there is. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I know we've got a couple of comments and I think one voicemail. Ms. Cronin?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First, from Michelle Stone in Gloucester Point. I am writing as a concerned citizen regarding this evening's vote on the proposed budget and tax increases. Having followed every public budget meeting, I appreciate the time spent analyzing tax rates. However, I believe the budget requires a more rigorous, line-by-line assessment of all requested expenditures. While supporting schools and utilities is paramount, the same level of scrutiny applied to tax percentages should be directed toward identifying feasible spending reductions before implementing new or increased taxes. If the board proceeds with tax increases, I urge you to ensure they are applied equitably. For example, the boat tax should be implemented so that leisure boat owners contribute their fair share alongside other taxpayers. Many Gloucester families are struggling in this economy and are not receiving cost of living wage increases. They cannot sustain continuous rate hikes. Please take the necessary time to review the budget in strict detail tonight to explore all possible alternatives to a tax increase. Thank you for your time and for your service to our community. If you have to be there half the night to work through all of this, I'm sure we can all pitch in and get you guys some pizza. Sincerely, Michelle Stone. From Lisa Reed in Gloucester Point. I've spoken to this board on this subject before, but it would seem it needs repeating for some of you. You cannot justify an increase, and you cannot keep laying the burden of the spending in this county solely on the homeowners. Our taxes have already significantly increased due to assessments, and new assessments are due. I'm quite certain another increase is in our near future, even if the board doesn't raise our taxes this time. I further submit that a forensic audit must be done to account for missing or misappropriated funds that have led to a crumbling infrastructure and a fire station that has yet to be built. I'm old enough to remember a town hall a few years ago where Ms. Steele was asked if the funds were available for the fire department, and she said yes. It was even recorded, so please look it up. Until you're serious about finding out where our money went and why she always found money for her frivolous pet projects, I'm not interested in trusting you with one more penny. With the tidal wave of taxes coming our way from the governor and her bandits in the General Assembly, Gloucester residents will barely be able to survive. To those of you voting for more increases, you're showing your true blue colors, and we see you. Clean up the mess you made by being asleep at the wheel. Put on your big boy pants because it's time to cut the extras, and to the bone if necessary. Otherwise, find another stream of revenue that benefits our community, because I'm fed up and tapped out. I feel confident that my fellow residents are too. Thank you for your attention in this matter. And then we have one voicemail.
Randy Orga, York District. I would like for y'all to go ahead and allot some money so that we can do an independent audit while you're raising taxes tonight at the board meeting. Make sure that you put some money in there also so we could do this audit and figure out how we got in the position that we're in. Thank you.
Anybody else before I close public comment? Okay, we will now move on to our work session agenda. We will start with budget discussion. Before we start the budget discussion, Mr. Wilmot has some information he would like to share.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Mr. Nicosia, Vice Chairman Nicosia, and Mr. Christopher Hutson have filed a disclosure of potential interests in the budget discussion and appropriations by virtue of Mr. Nicosia's employment with the Gloucester County School Board, the school system, and Mr. Hudson's wife's employment with this school system. They have filed these disclosures in accordance with the law. They may or may not be required to file disclosures, but they have disclosed them. They are certifying that they're able to participate in the transaction, meaning discussion, deliberation, and voting on the budget and the appropriations fairly, objectively, and in the public interest. So the clerk, Mr. Cronin, has these disclosures. They are a matter of public record should anyone like to see them. They filed them in due caution. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Wilmot. Thank you, Mr. Nicosia. Thank you, Mr. Hutson. So now we will move into our budget discussion. I know we have gone back and forth on some emails with some different scenarios before we get into approving a budget tonight. Is there any further discussion anyone would like to have this evening before we move on? Because there is one thing that I spoke with Mr. Baines about earlier today, and I thought I was correct, but then I looked again and I was incorrect. I believe that some of our civic contributions, I thought our plan was to not add any new or increase. However, according to our budget line items, they have been increased, and we haven't added a few more civic contributions. So I do not know if the board wishes to take a look at that or if they want to leave them as they are currently in the budget. Yes, Ms. Hanson.
Did you say there were some new ones added?
According to what I could see in the budget presentation and then looking at the budget worksheet, there's an increase between $80,000 and $100,000 in civic contributions in the current budget.
I was unaware of any additional.
I thought we were leaving them as level funded and not adding new ones, but that is not the case.
The full amount of requests were included in this budget, and I have not, I apologize if I've misdirection to cut any of those, but what is in the budget currently is the full amount that was requested.
Correct. Can we go to that line item? Yes, Dr. Leming.
What is the policy? What is the board's policy against which, excuse me, a request from a nonprofit is evaluated?
I don't know.
There isn't a policy.
It's been,
As far as I know.
I don't know if there is one.
Then how do we score these?
I don't know if they've been scored. We haven't done a whole lot of changing to these in years.
We haven't changed any of the civic groups that are getting funding in years. Yeah.
Yeah, we had one last year.
I think we've increased Bay Aging a little bit because of the services
At
that
times,
they.
but we added the Boys and Girls Club last year who asked for money. We increased $30,000 for the Boys and Girls Club last year that had not previously been funded.
Yeah, and the Bay Aging, we know how many people they support through their ride program, especially the disadvantaged people that have no transportation at all.
Correct.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen tonight, but this board needs to come up with a policy.
Correct.
For future use to evaluate requests against.
No, I would agree. With that, here is your budget line item here. It's showing an operational difference of 115,186. And if we need to, we can probably, Ms. Callaway can probably get to the presentation that shows where that comes from.
Would you prefer to see the presentation, or would you, I have the spreadsheet as well, which would?
Either is fine. Whichever is easier for you to get to, as long as it shows it, that's fine.
So, just for the board's information, we did break these out a hair differently between the civic, required, and partners, but this is all external requests that have been received and built into the budget.
And you see column E is what we have in this year's budget.
Yeah, current year is what appears in column E.
Are some of these, like the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, is that a?
That's a
requirement?
partnership.
Right.
So it's really going to
So-
be,
so
so
there's
if you look, Dr. Orth,
Yeah.
at column B, the one that says civic organizations.
Right, yeah.
Those are the ones
Right.
that have made a request.
And then the ones.
The next column in D is their request for last year, and then it's their actual funding for last year. So the Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters Child Advocacy Center asked for $10,000 last year. They didn't get any. Currently this year, we have $10,000 in the budget for them, $5,000 for guests. Let's see, which other one is a different, Tri-River.
I realized I was just looking at the partners component, yeah.
So I don't know what the feeling is for the board. I wrongly assumed that we had level funded these and that we hadn't added any new. I did not have time to go back to see if we actually stated that in a meeting. I don't know. But this is about $115,000 difference right here in the budget if we don't want to add any new civic groups at this time.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Dr. Leming.
I've burned at the stake before. I'll probably burn at the stake again. So what we're doing is we're levying taxpayers' dollars from their pockets under penalty of criminal law and redistributing them sort of through us as their approval mechanism to these various, some very worthy organizations. It's not our money. What I would sort of have as a construct in my head would be those organizations who serve as force multipliers for our taxpayer dollars. Well, let me give you an example of that. I think I'm just going to pick one in no particular order. The Gloucester Matthews Care Clinic is a force multiplier. I suspect that the Rural Housing Partnership is a force multiplier for our citizens. I bet the Children's Hospital of King's Daughter Advocacy may be a force multiplier for our children. I'm going to be frank with you, I don't know what a couple of these are to comment on them. So for example, I apologize, it's probably my ignorance, but I don't know what the Do Good Foundation is. If someone could edify me, I would be willing to think about it. But so my benchmark in years past was that comment. If it serves as a force multiplier for our citizens' dollars and those dollars go to our community, I'm probably all in. If they don't do that, then I'm probably not in support of taking somebody else's money and giving it to somebody that they may not think is a good idea. Let me go a step further, Mr. Chairman, and I'm sure I will roast in heck for the following comment. We could always put a donation card in every tax bill and let people pick which organizations they wanted to donate to. That's probably not practical, but just as an example. But I have heartburn with a list like this that doesn't have a policy against which it gets measured. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And that's where Ms. Hanson, please go ahead.
So I have worked with several of these organizations over the years as a volunteer and given a lot of time. I can recap the Do Good. That is they usually do Dolly Parton reading books for the community. They do other good works for charity for the children in this community. The Avalon Center is for battered women, and they also take in women from Gloucester County. The Guinea Heritage Association, I'm a volunteer for them now. They do the Christmas programs with Santa Claus and give bicycles to underprivileged children. They also have summer program for the children in my district to teach them about water, agricultural, and all of those other things. So they're very participant. They also help with the volunteer rescue department, providing all kinds of help with their events. But and I've been a long time resident of Gloucester County. Gloucester's had a pretty good tradition of donating to these charities, and one used to be the Laurel Shelter, which was a battered women's shelter here in Gloucester. And it did contribute, and it did help the women in Gloucester. And I know what you're saying, it's my money too, but it's been a long tradition for us as a board to contribute to our community in that way. And I don't really want to not do that. But if it doesn't benefit the citizens indirectly, I agree. It may be something we should consider, but those organizations, they do, so.
So I'm going to explain to why I brought this up. I agree with Dr. Leming. Absent a policy, I'm going to have a difficult time agreeing to add new. I'm also going to have a difficult time agreeing to increase funding over last year's level. I would like to see this number changed in our budget to reflect evil.
Whoa.
I was trying to say even and level at the same time. Level funding from last year's budget with no new contributions included. Then it's incumbent upon us to have a new policy in place prior to next year's budget. Mr. Hutson.
It needs to be prior to when they submit their information.
Correct.
So we need to start working on it right away. But I was under the understanding with you that we didn't increase these.
Well, you're welcome for me finding this and letting you know so that it could help with this budget. The second thing is I've written down that we will need a policy and we'll start working on one right away. Do I feel there's a consensus of the board for us to go back to level funding?
Yes.
May I request clarification? There are a handful of organizations that fall within the civic organization line we've broken out on this worksheet as partners. And so, may I bring up next the civic organization line, and you can confirm that you would like to level fund all of those organizations? Apologies, not filtered. And I recognize this is not comparative, which perhaps makes it difficult. The one that I can point out here that has requested an increase is the Humane Society. And so let me just flip through these real quick. Boys and Girls Club. Yeah, he just said beige, and I think that's it. And then there would be certainly ones here that are new that would not be funded. Okay.
So the Humane Society has asked for more. What was their funding level from last year, and what was the other one, Bay Transit?
Okay, Bay Transit was funded at $209,754 last year. I'm sorry, let me back that up. $199,729. Apologies. And Gloucester Matthews Humane Society was funded at $97,000 last year.
Do we know what the increase for both of those were requested? Because I don't remember, Ms. Calloway. And I know that the Boys and Girls Club was $30,000, and they asked for an additional $25,000.
And I don't have those right in front of me. Many of these organizations requested inflationary increases, and I believe Bay Transit specifically spoke to that when they were here to present to you.
So too.
Yeah, Bay Agent was here making a presentation, and I think they had already given us the statistics for how many rides they provide to people in this community, and the additional services they have provided with their, their app that people can call right to their door.
I think for me, I would be of the mind to keep the Bay Transit and the Humane Society at their proposed level because of Dr. Leming would say, their multiplier to the county. But if we have to go level, I won't have a problem with that either.
I'd say if any agency should get an increase, it would be Bay Transit.
I'm fine with that too.
Ms. Callaway, I think we're all looking at the same thing, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So under the words new, these are new requests that really have not appeared previously in our disp. Correct. Okay.
They've appeared, they've never been funded.
Okay. So the last one, 45677100, is a rental assistance program. Do you have any idea what that is?
That actually goes through Bay Aging as well. It's the Housing Choice Voucher Program, and that's been the same amount for many, many years.
So that's not new. That's what
That is not new.
I'm sorry.
sir.
That's what I was.
It is a little funny how it fell at the bottom.
I thought that's what I thought I knew what it was, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't falling under the new category.
Yes, sir.
Can we go back to the other slide?
You're looking at column C.
I'm actually looking at column E plus the others. Because E is what we actually funded.
Can we scroll down on this? Is there more to see?
So, Ms. Callaway, what would we save if we level funded the organizations this year? I mean, how much, what are we looking at in terms of the actual savings that we're dealing with?
If we were to simply level fund the organizations that were shown in the last list, all of them, it would be $115,186.
For savings?
Correct.
Okay. But if we went and added Bay Aging, that would reduce it to about 90,000, right?
Yeah, I was just calculating that, so I will have a good, but it'll be similar.
Yeah.
Or close to what you're saying. Yes, 86,052.
And what was the, Mr. Chairman, what was the Humane Society's increase ask?
The increase was $13,000.
I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm one of 7, so.
Me too.
Mr. Chairman, do you want a motion on that? You can do it by
No,
consensus.
consensus is fine. We'll worry about the motions when we get to the final numbers, whatever they may or may not be.
Okay, so confirming, I'm gonna reduce level fund and then add back Bay Transit, additional 16,134, and Humane Society 13,000. So the net reduction will be 86,052. Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Dr.
can we put the boat tax back on discussion? Because I know a lot of people are here, and I had heard that there was some interest in putting it back and looking at it. So what's the story on this?
Well, I thought we had consensus at a previous meeting to
Right.
take it away and not deal with a boat tax this
Right.
year.
Can I just say one thing?
Mhm.
So since I've been on the board, one of the things that we have talked about is the county being business friendly. And I can't think of any other industry that we would want to be business friendly with, which would be the boat industry. I mean, we've heard over and over, although we don't have hard numbers, the economic impact, but it seems to me there is a significant economic impact that they play. And again, I'm thinking of our county being business friendly. We try to be business friendly with all these. Now, obviously, there's the other associated side of it, which I know Ms. Hanson wants to talk about, but my feeling is I thought we had basically decided that this was an economic driver for our county. And to me, that's being business friendly.
Right. Ms. Hanson?
When we all had the consensus about the boat tax, that was before we decided that it was okay to raise the real estate tax. That's where I have an issue. I agree with you. It's an industry. We're a waterfront agricultural community, but you're putting the burden all on the real estate. And I was fine where it was at, without it. A level playing field, fairness to all. But a lot of these marinas have boats that are from other communities. They don't live here. They're not paying into our infrastructure or tax base or homes here. And to me, I just feel like that you can't tax one and not the other, in my opinion. It's unfair. And I said, yes, we had a consensus, but when we just had another discussion about raising the real estate tax, I did not think that was fair in its presentation. And I was fine with giving a little bit for the schools and giving a little bit for us and making sure the COLAs were there and keeping that rate down. And just all of us kind of tightening up our belts. But I can't, in good conscience, agree. This is not against anyone who owns a boat. I have friends that own boats. I've had discussions with them. But it's like, okay, your real estate tax goes up or your boat tax. Your house is a lot more expensive than your boat. So that's why I don't agree. So.
So what is the pleasure? Do y'all want to see it added back in, or we want to leave it alone? I'm of the mindset to leave it alone.
Mr. Chairman.
Yep, Ms. Hanson.
Just for looks, just to see.
But we have, and we decided to take it out.
Not since let's see how, if we took the boat tax back in, how far can we drop down our real estate?
A penny.
But if we
And
only did
that's,
at the
and,
0.57.
and that's if every one of those boats remain here to be taxed, which is not gonna happen. But if y'all want to see it, we can absolutely put it back in so we can see it.
The only boats that are gonna stay in the county are the ones that are on the trailer.
And
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
I may or may not agree with Ms. Hanson, but she's a fully voting member of this board. And respectfully, I think if she wants to see it on the screen, I think we owe it to a fully fledged member of the board to see it on the screen, Ms. Hanson.
if y'all wanna see it, we can see it.
Just so the audience knows how it would level it out. And if it's not worth the buy? I think that 586 was at the 0.5. Is this the
No.
dollar?
That's
Okay.
the dollar.
Okay. And so it balances and splits what we were increasing, right? If that's what I'm seeing.
Well, it just goes down a penny.
Right, a penny. We
From
went
where
up
we were.
2, so
We're up
we up 2.
3.7. Now,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, Dr. Leming.
I think I have a disclaimer in this conversation. According to my colleague to my right, I am a owner of a boat. No, that's right. I own 2 boats. No, that's right. We own 3. No, we own 4 boats. Your ship has come in. My ship has come. There may be a 5th in my son's garage trying to wait to get fiberglass, but anyway. I actually think that the conversation that's been had and the old studies that we saw, which were old, was fairly compelling. And the compelling nature of the conversation was, if we got $586,000 in income revenue from the boat tax, we would likely lose a reciprocal, if not more, on other taxes that are generated in the county. The argument the boating industry has made is not necessarily should they be taxed or not taxed. Their argument is the net effect of taxing them will be a negative net effect. I'm pretty sure I got the message.
Dr. Ward?
That seems to be the message that other communities have adopted.
Well, I'm going to share with the group. About 5 minutes before this meeting started tonight, I received a text message from the former county administrator in Middlesex County who said, "Good luck on the budget adoption tonight. Please bring back the boat tax because Deltaville wants the boats back." That is the text message that I received about an hour ago. These larger boats will leave for these marinas that surround us that are at 0 boat tax as well. It's just how it works. And I know last year, in the last 2 years, because I too am a boat owner and I've had it for the last 3 or 4 years, didn't have one. I guarantee you I spend over $100 in sales tax or some other version of a tax doing something on that boat, at least annually. And it is a trailerable boat. And more than likely it will be moved to a different location even if it's on a trailer. Why? Because every time my hand touches my pocket, I pay a tax for something.
Can we put this to rest, at least this one?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I don't want to derail your motion. I just want to, no, I really don't. But I would say this topic is going to recur in an annualized basis. And I'd like to take Mr. Lee or his colleagues up and have maybe them work with the EDA and find a neutral party to do a study.
Okay, so I've been in contact with the gentleman Vims, and I've told him exactly what's been going on with this board, and I said that while we have put this on the back burner, that I thought a study was really necessary, and he's, again, working with 2 of the colleagues to develop a proposal that would meet the needs of the boating industry. So this is not a dead issue. I continue to talk to the gentleman, and I think there is going to be interest. He said, you know, again, there are 2 faculty that would be interested in developing that. So, yeah, and I mentioned that there was some interest in providing some support, and even if the people can't support, there may be the marina industry itself that might be very interested, because I think this is the information that probably a lot of communities want, not just us.
Correct. Ms. Hanson.
I would like to reiterate what I said about the budget. I was perfectly okay, like I said, about the boats being taken off. but I don't agree with raising the real estate tax like that. I just don't. I think that if we can't find a way to tighten our belts and everybody feel a little bit of pain because we don't have it right now. And I agree with Mr. Nash as well. You know, we don't have the school budget. We don't have all the pieces and all the parts to do this today. I'd feel more comfortable knowing everything that we need to know. But this is my first time on a board, so I'm certainly, you know, defer to your experience on that.
So another question. Parks and Rec, that comes up all the time.
Well, can we finish this one
Oh,
first?
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sure.
So,
Yeah,
is it the consensus to take the boat tax back to zero? Okay.
And have a study impaneled.
Right.
Right.
After tonight.
I've been working with Dr. Orth because he has still has a foot in the door down there at VIMS to.
I could still have 2 feet. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Orth.
Okay, so Parks and Rec. Again, you know, we said that our administrative budget, which is about the only thing that we can really deal with, is around 10 million, right? A little less than 10.
I'm sorry,
The administrative budget, which includes all of the other stuff.
General administration, yes.
Okay. And we talked about all of the departments, how much they are. So Parks and Rec keeps on getting pinged on. So we know we get income from Parks and Rec, right? How much income do we get that offsets the total cost of Parks and Rec?
If you can just give me a moment, I think I can come up with it.
You can determine the fees paid for the different classes. But once again, the parks are as much a multiplier as anybody else because of the people coming into the county. But you can determine what the rep fees.
Do you want to come talk? No, I do not want to talk.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm gathering from my utilities director that she has a little bit of input.
I'm only bringing it up because this comes up all the time.
I'm getting I know the Daffodil Festival makes 100+%.
So Parks, Recreation, and Tourism is made up of 5 different budget units. The Daffodil Festival is expected to break even or make money, which it typically makes money. Tourism is funded through the lodging tax. The recreation class fees usually recoup about 25 to 30% of the expenses, which is about industry standard last time I was in that department. Okay.
Thank you. Very appreciated.
I think that's much better than any specific number I can give you.
Correct.
However, I do know the Daffodil Festival was well exceeding its expenditures last year. I haven't confirmed for this year, so I'll add that little bit.
Dr. Leming?
Again, I'm perfectly willing to be the target. Yeah, you probably should. You probably should. I'll be honest with you. So the issue that comes before the board on an annualized basis, I believe it's come before every board in every locality every year, is the following. Would everyone who is a firefighter, a rescue squad officer, a police officer, who's involved in the utilities department, maybe the social services department because it's mandated by law, report to their jobs, and everyone else go away? I mean that's the debate that everybody has. Is the function of local government, this is kind of a philosophical conversation, is the function of local government to provide only those absolute necessary services and tax the citizens to only fund those services, and things like economic development, parks and recreation, tourism, administration? Why would we need administration if we didn't have any employees to administer? I would put HR under that unnecessary group. And to some extent, you know, that is not what I run to serve my citizens about. But I understand the conversation. I mean, I just want to lay it out there that that's the conversation people want to have. And I don't want to have, my answer to that is that if there's somebody who really wants to gut the government like that, all the services, and take them and say, by the way, it's all in the eye of the beholder, what's necessary and what's not necessary, by the way. But if somebody wants to do that, I encourage them to run for office on that platform. You know, that I am going to only make sure that I only fund fire, rescue, police, jail, social services, and only those things that I think are necessary. Oh, I guess you could call those necessary, but we could all homeschool, couldn't we? I mean, it's all what you think is, you as an individual think is necessary. I don't have that opinion personally, and I think we can walk and chew gum. I think we can take care of our essential services, and then I think we can take care of the other services that citizens demand. And I think they do demand parks and rec. I think they do demand other things. And I think it's what makes our community great, to be honest with you.
Dr. Leming, some of us can't walk and chew gum. But now that I get my couple of minutes here. All right, first things first, public service announcement. The Ware District Supervisor does not have dementia. All right. So I got a lot of those messages. No, I don't have dementia. The other night when my colleagues were talking, I was deep in number crunching, which Ms. Calloway has taught me how to do very well. And so sometimes when I number crunch, I have to concentrate on what I was concentrating on. So by the time the chairman got to me, I honestly was deep in this spreadsheet here. So that's number 1 and 2. Number 3 is something I feel like I need to address for me, and that is that a lot of the feedback that I got this week was that no matter what I do, I'm padding my pocket. Well, the vote will show you that on the bonuses, I abstained. That is a direct impact to my pocket. However, a 2.8% COLA, I probably will never see. The reason I can tell you that I probably will never see it was because the increase in insurance rates will take over whatever if a COLA is given, it will take it. I won't see it. And I can show you that. I could show you that. But I want to make this clear. Anyway, I want to say this to the public here tonight and those watching by television. If this board was to give, and it's a trickle down, we give them a lump sum, it is that school board, who some of them are attending tonight, and Dr. Ledoux, who decides where the money goes after we appropriate it. But if it bothers you, I will publicly say, and I've said this, and I said I was going to say it, Dr. Ledoux, you can keep my 2.8. And I mean it. Because that's the kind of person I am. Now, with that being said, Ms. Calloway, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to throw a big bullet out here. And yeah, all right, Joe, tighten up your bow tie.
It's the bow tie.
Tighten up your bow tie. Mr. Chairman and Ms. Calloway, just for, and I know we've looked at it, but just for interest's sake, what would it look like if we've heard a lot about, I personally have heard a lot in the Ware District about all the incoming taxes, everything coming our way. What we don't know is coming from Richmond, what we don't know is coming from Washington, and the rising prices of gas and the rising price of food and the rising price of everything. So I'm just gonna put this out here. What would it look like if we level funded it all and got down to the equalized rate? I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but I think I had to ask, because I've been asked to ask. And if we serve the people, as Joe says.
Yes, Ms. Hanson.
What would it look like if we just took away the COLA, like I suggested last time?
Well, okay, so we went all the way down 2 meetings ago, and I think level funding everything, we got down to about 52.8. And then we worked back from there and built these things back in. For me, and we'll do whatever is the pleasure of this board.
Right.
Absolutely. To me, I would prefer to see what it would be to, because the schools are somewhere between 2 and 3. I think we had ours in at 2.8. What if we compromise? Because, look, I didn't get a raise last year. I've probably gotten the least raises of anybody annually in this room with where I've been, which is fine. Me personally, what I would like to see is we go to a 2.8 or even 3% on both sides, and that's all that we fund. But if y'all want to go, y'all tell me where you want, or with a consensus, we can have Ms. Calloway make this spreadsheet say whatever we want it to say. Because I can't operate this spreadsheet. I tried earlier and said, nope, not qualified. But do y'all want to go back to that, or do you want to leave the raises in and leave only the raises in and see that?
Mr. Chairman, looking back at the presentation we did on March 3rd, or whatever it was, the actual date, March 9th, for the county side, the 2.8% COLA was $680,591, and that is partially funded by the state for all the positions we have that are state. So that all that money doesn't come out of our tax rate, but probably about a penny does.
And I think the schools were a little over $1 million.
The school's requested rate was, we adjusted down to what we estimated to be approximately 2.8%, which at that level was $1,539,061. And that was maximum.
Mr. Hutson.
If we're gonna do that, I wanna level fund everything else, to include contributions, everything across the board for the partners and everything else, if that's even considered.
So what is the pleasure of the board? Where do y'all want to go from here?
I just have to make an observation, Mr. Chairman. When you stand in the middle of a rushing river, you're going backwards.
Ms. Hanson.
It seems to me, and I've had many discussions with citizens, that the most important thing that we fund, and I think you would agree with me, that what we fund, the schools, is the most important thing that we fund in our children. Whether we have them or are in our community, it is important. And I would say, I know they can't get up here and say anything, but I think that they'd want things that for the children to be funded. And like Mr. Nicosia said, you can have my 2.8. So they have the programs that they need, the foundations that they need. versus the raise, and to make sure that the taxpayer doesn't have to bear the extra burden in the real estate tax for the raise is my ideal.
Mr. Chairman.
Dr. Leming.
Whatever we do, I'll just make an observation that, and this is, I don't have a dog here, this is just a statement of fact. If the state approves a 3% raise for the schools and we don't match it, it's gone. So, I mean, as we've walked and worked through this process, you know, we've kind of been through most of this, and we're now having heartburn because it's coming down to the wire. And I understand that. I think we should have heartburn. I personally took some Zofran earlier because I'm nauseated over this. But I'm concerned about not living up to that state number. I express concern about that. And Tony, to your comment, and I understand that the homeowners are all getting squeezed, but guess what? Our county employees are getting squeezed because they're homeowners, and the school teachers are getting squeezed because they're homeowners. In full disclosure, my daughter-in-law is a teacher at Bonniville, the mother of my twin sons, and she's getting squeezed on her fuel and other taxes. So, you know, the notion that we would even consider not, and I haven't heard it seriously yet, but seriously not considered, and 2.8 ain't going to make up for the cost of living. I'll just tell you that. So all I wanted to bring up was the fact that the school, if we don't match the school's 3%, they lose it all.
Mr. Nicosia?
For the public, I have twin sons and twin grandsons. My twin sons are 34 and my grandsons are 7, and I apologize, I misspoke. I do not have dementia.
Good job.
Looking at all these numbers will make you think you do.
I don't want to correct you, sir, but your twin grandchildren are one daughter and one son. You don't have twin sons.
Oh, that's right. You said it, George.
Maybe leave the bow tie at home next meeting, Joe. Mr. Nicosia?
Dr. Leming, you are absolutely correct. Because I'm going to tell you a story since the chairman told us one. In June, I would have paid my taxes. And I'm at the tax office. I'm in line with everybody else. And this sweet lady, about 3 or 4 people in front of me, she's like, them supervisors ain't got to pay no taxes. They put these taxes on us and we ain't got to pay none. I'll tell you one thing, Dawn, this is a terrible thing, ain't it? So I eased on, rolled on up, and got beside her. And I said, ma'am. She said, here's one now. And I said, yes, ma'am, I am. And I said, I come to give you something. And she said, what is it? I said, could you pay this one for me when you get to the window? And I said, the same pinch you feel is the same pinch I feel. But as you know, there are a lot of older people in the Ware district. And so, well, they are, but they remind me that there's a lot in the Ware district. You are correct. But anyway, so listening to the people who put me in this seat, I knew I understand all that. I just I just happen to know there are more people watching right now than were watching 3 or 4 nights ago, a week ago, whatever. All right? And I don't want to see anybody, county employee, school employee, lose compensation. I said me, because they had heartburn with me. So have mine. Give everybody else theirs, but you can have mine. Because I did not get elected to sit in this seat to benefit me. I got elected to come here and help my constituents. And they made it, I mean, that's how it is. So I agree with you. I just wanted the people who I know are watching now to be able to see it. One more item up for bid. I got it. I got to have, and I told him I was going to say it. I had a very in-depth conversation with Gary Ward about his email, and I think some of us have talked to him. And so, and I listened to where he stood on the meals tax, and the last thing he told me was, and I'm just throwing this out here for the board, 1% to utilities. He said most restaurants could probably handle that. He said 2% is going to affect some of the smaller businesses.
Mr. Chair, may I?
Mr. Wilmot, please.
It's probably not my place, and Mr. Meyer would remind me of that, I'm sure. This has been a very long and arduous process. I thought last meeting the board had a consensus of 4 of the 7 of you to approve a budget as massaged and tortured. And tonight, perhaps with the exception of level funding all the civic organizations other than Humane Society and Bay Aging, I think that's the path that 4 of you are on, but no one's made a motion to approve that budget. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep. I had 2 other questions. Currently in our budget, Ms. Callaway, are we funding a full-time, let me go back and look at the proper terminology. Where did it go? No, not the grant writer, the
Community engagement coordinator.
Is that a full-time position on ours? It is full-time?
We made it full-time.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, sir.
So my other question is currently we have, it's 1.530667 for a 2.8% increase in compensation for the schools. What does that number have to be to make it 3%? And here's my question and why. We can budget a 3%. We just don't have to allocate that amount of money until we know what the state's gonna do. Because if it comes back at 2%, then we have some left. And then if it's at 3%, we're covered. That is correct. Mr. Wilmot, am I correct in that statement? Whatever the 3% is, we can pass the budget tonight, just not allocate that raise until we know what it's going to be, correct?
Yes, sir. As long as you don't appropriate the full 3, you could appropriate the 2.8, which makes it complicated. But yes, sir, you can do that.
We could appropriate the 2, and then if it goes to 3, then we're.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
$1,648,994.
Okay.
And I check in with I'm having trouble getting to my slide, so I think the schools will correct me if nope, I just found it. Just kidding. Got it. I'm correct.
Okay. So, let me go back to mine so I can see this here. Ms. Callaway, can you pull up our other sheet and show me what, oh, there it is, I've got it, I've gotten to it now as well. So, the current allocation for the schools for next year, or budgeted, is $33,361,414. And I know there was 4 of you all that landed on that last meeting. Is that right? I might be looking.
That is correct.
Minus the 794.
We subtracted the 794 to get to the 33,361.
Well, that's what it was left after we added the extra 2 cents in. My question is there any heartburn in going back to, from the 33,361,414 to the schools and making it the 30,424,128 plus the 1,648,994 number, and see what that does to the budget? And just give them the increase for the 3% compensation.
Let's see what it says.
Let's see what it does.
Yeah, show it up.
Show it. Show us the numbers.
So it's not big there.
Taking it down. You gotta get rid of the other number.
I didn't, do you want me to adjust the tax rate? Is that?
Please, just so we can see.
The meals tax, if we drop it to 1%, that's a $900,000 issue right there, if we only go to 1%.
That's another penny and a half that goes
Yep,
back
that's right.
to the real estate rate. Dr. Leming?
I respect Mr. Ward. The meals tax is a pass-through. I'm not gonna back away from the meals tax.
It's just an option.
And I don't, yes, I mean, I know the $139, $37, $38 is gonna put Mr. Nicosia in a different tax bracket that he would get each month. Where my wife's an aide, she gets $30-some, $40-some a month. That's not the point. But I think that the schools in general, we need to not back off so much from the schools, and they need more money for the operating, for teaching the kids of this county.
But I understand that. But also looking at what we've done here, where we were at was at almost a 10% increase to the school system with where we were. And I don't know what my number ended up to be here now, but it's probably closer to a 5% increase to the schools. It's 4.9 as the overall budget, but to the schools from last year's request to what this level of funding.
So with what you just said, if we just add that compensation, and does the compensation, are we also adding the compensation 0.33 to make it 1, or is that out?
The number that I had Ms. Calloway add in here is a 3%, enough for 3% compensation. So that if they go to 3%, we get to give it. And if they are at 2, then we don't have to give them the full 3%, or we could just leave it as is. if we wanted to. And if they only get to 2, then they have the extra, I don't know what it is. No, it's $109,000.
But we're still at, okay, whatever that case, we are at .563, right? That's where we
Yes.
are at present. If we just add compensation for the schools at 3%, and the compensation for the county, correct?
County's in here as well at 2.8%.
Okay,
And the step.
With the step.
right, okay.
A full step, not a .66 step.
Mhm.
And what portion of the grants are full, part, shared?
In this figure, there is no grant writer. It's removed. Mr. Chriscoe's proposition of 3% increase only for compensation just removed anything additional is how we calculated that figure.
And what about insurance?
The health insurance estimated cost is 1.242 million, and that is also not included in that.
And we can go back to where we were Monday night. If someone wants to make that motion, I think it appears in our packet.
Ms. Callaway, if you did go back to Friday or Monday's meeting with the change in civic contributions, then that number is going to change slightly.
Yes.
Could you share that to us, please? I know where you're going.
I mean, that number is going to change a wee bit.
No, I know, but I also know where you're going. Yeah.
It went down to 4.6 as opposed to 4.7.
So contributions.
Is it under contributions? Under the resolution approving the fiscal budget? Right, so that, I'm only focusing on, that's nice, but I'm only focusing on the ordinance and the resolution. So what does it reduce the contributions from 639, 657 to what?
To 553,605.
553,605. Okay, and the appropriation resolution, what does it reduce it to?
On page 2, it reduces 639,657 to 553.
Ms. Keller, what if and this sounds crazy, what if I just say, I don't want a salary for being a board member, and give my salary back to the county? And just take it back?
553 what?
Can I do that?
605.
605. You can do that, but you have to pay taxes on it, and then you
I
can,
don't care. If I just said, don't pay me, and take it off of the budget.
we're gonna pay you. So
You can
what
just
you do
donate
with
back
I
to
hate
the
to say this,
Department of.
Bob, you're not statistically significant.
what you and Mr. Nicosia do with the money that you're paid after you're paid it.
I'm sorry, we're not.
So what is,
up to you.
Ms. Callaway, what
sir.
does the 33361-414 become?
My understanding is in this version, that is still the same. That's still the 33361-414. Because did you modify, was your recommendation to modify the school?
No, it was to change contributions.
Right.
That-
You're level funding everybody except the Humane Society and Bay Aging. You're giving them what they requested, right?
Level funding from Monday night's work document. We're not changing anything other than the 2 civic contributions, but the money is staying the same from Monday night's board document for the school transfer, is what he was asking.
Yes.
That paragraph that follows the chart on page 2 of the appropriation resolution is specific only to the school transfer.
So where's the total for the budget?
That the total is broken out into these individual paragraphs, but the general fund appears in the chart. So that is the only change required for the change in civic contributions.
My question is, do you all want to proceed with the full 3% tonight with the schools, even if they don't get but 2?
Mr. Chairman, I think it's close to nonsensical not to budget it.
No, I was just simply asking the question. That's what I was saying is, right.
Ms. Callaway? On this document that we're looking at, we've funded the 3 SROs. We have fully funded the person in the high school.
Community ed.
Community
Engagement coordinator, yes, sir.
Community coordinator in the high school. I apologize. Is there a grants writer in this?
No.
Okay.
Well, yes, I
In this one-
apologize.
on
Yes,
this one there is.
I thought that was.
Correct.
Is it half a grants writer?
No, it's a full.
For some reason in the back of my mind, I thought we were going to share the grants writer with the schools and half. That was my memory.
You can't serve 2 masters.
And boy-girl grandchildren. I think you can as a grants writer in a small county. I'll be honest with you. I would like to see that position but at half, if the schools would be willing to pick up the other half. I think it would, it's no different than if we get another engineer and we're going to share the engineer. I just don't see that that's an issue. And I think the grants writer would be a force multiplier for our taxpayer dollars. That's my 2 cents.
It should, and I don't think we have to necessarily break it out as school versus county, because our procurement doesn't work that way. So I think the grant writer, whichever side of the house it's located on, can serve both of us until it gets to a capacity where they can't. To start off, I think they're fine.
I was just asking, can we put half the amount in the budget?
So currently, this proposal includes a full-time grant writer position.
If you want to put $44,000 on the schools, it's the same bucket of money. Our procurement office is paid by the county, and they work for both, so I don't see where the hang-up is.
I just think with grant writing for educational purposes, it's going to be different types of writers are going to be required for grants for schools versus grants for everyone else.
if y'all fund a single position, we'll work with the superintendent to make sure that we divide the work so that it's equal on both sides, whether it's funded in their budget or our budget. We'll work with them and tell you what we're doing as far as the basis of how we're doing the grant
The federal
themselves.
requirements probably have, boilerplate stuff for a lot of the things that would make it easy for someone to switch back and forth.
May I provide a suggestion? I have worked with grants on the county side. I have not worked with grants on the education side. However, has been discussion that perhaps having part-time on each side may lend itself better, because there is a difference in if the board were to only want to fund the one position, that amount. And I have Dr. Vladu here that I don't want to put on the spot, but I believe there are some significant differences in the management of grants that the county is doing versus what this position may do on the school side. However, one position that we figure out how to split is certainly, we will work with that. But two part-time is also perhaps an option if you would like the funding to appear in two separate places.
I'd like the funding to appear in two different places. I don't know if that's the consensus of I don't know if that's the consensus of my colleagues or not.
I just know that on the Planning District Commission, the member jurisdictions wanted 2 grant writers. We found one, couldn't find another one, then we had one that was part-time for just a little while. Part-time grant writing is not very easy to fill. So I don't care where it appears, but I would, if it's in the budget, yeah, we can hash those details out when we decide whether or not we can find one that's willing to take the job for that price.
All right, 3 SROs, a community engagement coordinator, a grants writer, whatever. It's in the budget. 2.8% COLA for county employees. The makeup of the step, which I think was 0.33, is my 0.66.
Oh, I'm sorry, 0.34
Right.
to make up the additional.
On the additional, I thought it was 0.33, but I apologize.
You're right.
0.34. And then on the school side, on a budget issue, we've done 3%. And we did extra beyond that.
Correct.
All right. Is that where we are?
So, Ms. Callaway, on the 4-page resolution for appropriating funds, other than on the chart where that would change to 553605, do any of the other numbers have to be decreased?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Dr. Leming.
Ms. Callaway, do I interpret that creature up there correctly under K, which would mean that the real estate tax rate, which was advertised, was 0.634. That's what we could have gone to, and that would have been a 16.5% increase in the real property taxes had we done that. I think that's correct. The equalization rate would have had it at 0, and the number that's up there currently at 0.583 represents an 8.6% increase in my real tax dollars from last year's bill to the upcoming bill.
The 8.6% is only going to represent the difference from the equalized rate to the current working rate from the board. With some tax bills will be lower and some will be higher based on assessment changes. And some.
But you know, we've been working with the average household, which was what, 358,000?
385, yep.
So I'm asking whether that tax rate on that average household that we've been working with would in fact be 8.6% higher and not 10.4% higher.
Correct, the tax rate would
On
be
the average.
8.6%
On the average.
from the.
I understand, I understand. All right. You there?
Can, you wanna take a recess and?
Yeah, let's do that.
So that you can make sure that what they're getting ready to propose is on
You
all
wanna-
of these?
Adjust, sure, and you want it displayed?
Yes, please. So we'll take a 5-minute recess while Ms. Calloway works her magic with numbers.
Tell me, the close.
See what changes we have made and decide on next actions.
Go to the bottom.
So these, the numbers in yellow are going to be the ones that Ms. Calloway has changed, and she also has something else she would like to mention.
Yes.
What is the
Thank you, Ms.
one at the bottom, the number at the bottom?
75, 830, 133. So the first change this is the budget resolution. There are two separate resolutions here. And the budget resolution, which actually I should not have changed that now that I realize that. That needs to be the full amount. Apologies. The only change to the budget resolution is the contribution was adjusted to the 553605, which was to level fund all contributions with the exception of the Gloucester Matthews Humane Society and the Bay Transit requests. Otherwise, there's no adjustments to this particular budget resolution. If I move to the appropriation resolution, oh, I'm sorry, there is one more thing on this one. So the state, the pay-go? That's what I'm getting ready to say. So the, let's see, you will note, oh, it's not on this one. On the appropriation resolution, I made one modification after discussions with staff. And this was not a modification, modification was already built in, so this isn't something I've changed tonight. To shift the body top project into the school construction fund. It's still a capital projects fund, but you will note that the capital projects fund is going to have a little bit less than what we discussed previously, and the school construction fund now is going to have the 9.7 million total, which is the continuation of Gloucester High School as well as the body top project. So that was just one minor change I wanted to let the board know I had already made. In addition, that's all the changes that I have made, Mr. Chriscoe, unless you'd like to speak further to the appropriation modification.
Yes, we're, based on the state not having their collective heads together, at this point in time, we are moving forward with the number. We are not going to appropriate the last percentage point to go from 2% to the 3%. That'll come later once we find out exactly what the state is going to fund, because it could be anywhere in between that. So the appropriation to the schools will be minus the
549665.
549665 for tonight. Just the appropriation.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Dr. Leming.
Ms. Callaway?
Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that the school cafeteria fund carryover is here.
Yes, sir, it is.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Ms. Hanson.
So just to clarify, because I don't think that I either understood or got an answer, can we wait to pass this budget until we have more information about the schools? Is that an option?
We could. I don't think
May
there's.
15th, but.
Right, I don't think that need exists, because the only item that we're really worried about is the 2 to 3%. So we're going to budget for 3%, but only appropriate up to the 2%.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Dr. Leming.
But in fairness to Ms. Hanson, I don't think we know what the school's health insurance numbers are either. I mean, there are two variables out there. There's what's the state going to do, and there's what's their.
I mean, I think with what has been added to this budget, we're probably in decent shape. Would be my guess. That being said, Ms. Callaway has worked diligently through our recess to update the numbers to reflect what we ended our discussion with. Monday night and then had a few minor modifications that have taken an hour and a half tonight. But this is where we are tonight.
Are you ready? Are you satisfied with the numbers?
So, with that, there is a resolution approving the fiscal year 2027 budget. And,
So moved.
we have a motion, we have a second, and I'm looking for this actual sheet. I guess it's this one.
Doesn't that have to change?
Yes, this does have to change, thank you. I have one quick modification, the budget has to stay the same. The budget will be the full amount, the appropriation will be reduced.
Correct. You're correct.
Okay. So it'll be as presented here with our highlights. We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Mr. Baines, would you poll the board?
Certainly. Dr. Leming,
Yes.
Mr. Hutson,
Yes.
Mr. Chriscoe,
No.
Mr. Nicosia,
Yes.
Ms. Hanson, Mr. Bonniville. It passes.
How about Dr. Orth?
I'm sorry, Dr. Orth. For some reason, you're not down there anymore on my list. The motion passes, 4-3.
Okay. So we will now move to the ordinance setting tax levies for calendar year 2026. Ms. Callaway, will you pull that one up for us so we can see those changes or modifications?
Should be changed to 583.
Yeah, it went down to 583.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work.
So, next we have this.
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Baines, would you poll the board?
Let's see if we remember all 7. Mr. Hutson,
Yes.
Mr. Chriscoe,
No.
Mr. Nicosia,
Yes.
Ms. Hanson, Mr. Bonniville, Dr. Orth, Dr. Lemon.
Yes.
Okay, next,
Motion
now
passes.
on page 2 of our packet, we have the ordinance to amend the meals tax, going from 4% to maximum allowable by state code 6%. Is there a motion?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Baines, would you poll the board?
Mr. Chriscoe,
No.
Mr. Nicosia,
Yes.
Ms. Hanson, Mr. Bonniville, Dr. Orth, Dr. Leming,
Yes.
Mr. Hutson.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay. Our next one is on page 4 of your packet. It's a consideration of ordinance instituting a cigarette tax and an ordinance to join a cigarette tax board.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Seeing no further discussion. Mr. Baines, would you poll the board?
Mr. Nicosia,
Yes.
Ms. Hanson,
No.
Mr. Bonniville, Dr. Orth, Dr. Leming,
Yes.
Mr. Hutson,
Yes.
Mr. Chriscoe.
Yes.
And there are 2 ordinances.
Yes, sir.
First one.
On page 19, you'll see the second ordinance that makes us part of the cigarette board.
Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. No further discussion. Mr. Baines, would you poll the board?
Ms. Hanson, Mr. Bonniville, Dr. Orth, Dr. Leming,
Yes.
Mr. Hutson,
Yes.
Mr. Chriscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Nicosia.
Yes.
Passes.
Okay. We have a resolution appropriating funds for fiscal year 2027, and I believe there's been a
As amended.
modification.
So moved as amended.
We have. Oh, there it is. Okay. We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Baines, would you poll the board?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bonniville, Dr. Orth, Dr. Leming,
Yes.
Mr. Hutson,
Yes.
Mr. Chriscoe,
No.
Mr. Nicosia,
Yes.
Ms. Hanson.
No.
It passes.
We have a resolution establishing the rates of personal property tax relief for qualifying vehicles.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? I'm trying to find this one so I can look at it, but
I think it's in, oh, it's right here. It's a loose one.
It's near the end.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in here.
No, it's
the
nothing.
next one.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Baines, would you pull the board?
Dr. Orth?
Yes.
Dr. Leming?
Yes.
Mr. Hutson?
Yes.
Mr. Chriscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Nicosia?
Yes.
Ms. Hanson? Mr. Bonniville? All right, motion passes.
Okay.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second for adjournment. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
You know, I have seniority on you over that.